Hey guys, wearing the old classic turtle shirt again from early on in my channel days. For those of you who actually cared about my reaction videos, I don't think I'll be doing them no more. Only a few people watched them, and it's like, I didn't think they were that good anyway. So maybe in the future when I learn how to edit better and I can actually put the video over on like this area on the screen as like a small box, like other reaction videos do. Maybe, but for now it's just It's actually fitting that I'm wearing this shirt again, because guess what we're talking about today? Motherfucking Ninja Turtles. Now I know what some people are thinking. I'm 18. If you've read the title, you know what this video is about. I know what y'all thinking. I'm 18. I'm too old for toys. Well, I'm not getting them to play with them. I'm getting them to pose them on shelves to look at, like any other adult with toys does. And to review them, like Pixel Dan and whatnot. Only I think his videos are much better than mine. Maybe I'll get better in a few years, only time will tell. But I'm just gonna give my opinion on these toys. I got two so far, and I'll do another video on the other two when I get them. You can see them right here. Wasn't doing that good a job hiding them. First, I'll start with this one since I got him first. We got Michelangelo. Oh me gosh. It's not well, we say cowbunga in this show, but it's all of our phrases, not just mine. Oh me gosh. Forget cowbunga. Forget booyaka shot. This is my new phrase. Oh me gosh. Alright, so I'll start with, let's see, what's the most important point on a toy? The articulation. Now, let's go over a little history of Funko's, stuff. Hopefully they don't get mad at me for saying this. This is just my opinion. But the original Turtles figures, if I remember correctly, I've only heard things and I have seen videos with them in them. And I haven't actually held a pair myself, but I think they didn't have knee bend articulation, if I remember correctly. I think their legs were stuck, if I remember correctly. But yeah, back then, it was elbows, like a little bit of movement on the shoulders, and then the wrists. You can move your legs from here, but not at the knee. And of course, head. And those were default points you could have. Anything else would be extra. Till a few years later when they added the knee bends, and then those became a part of the standard. But yeah, back then that's what they had, and they were pretty good toys for not being able to move the legs very good, but they were pretty good. I'm just going off of what I've heard. I haven't actually held one, so I guess I shouldn't say if they were good or not if I haven't. Fuck it, never mind. Moving on to that weird anime thing. The whole gimmick with their toys was they could shapeshift. They can transform from regular to super. I think that show, those two episodes, were literally just made to sell those two toys. So can you even really call it a legit show? I don't know. And I've never really got a good look at those figures, so I'm not sure how good they were. I would assume you have the default articulation spots. I'm assuming they were okay. Next Mutations action figures. Again, haven't seen much of them since not many people like Next Mutation too well. I don't think they had the knee bends there, if I remember correctly. I think every other point was still the same. Then finally comes 2003, wherein the knee bends get added and they became a default articulation. And the 2003 figures were awesome. I don't have any of them now. I have one, but where'd it go? Oh, here it is. I have one. Oh, this one seems to have foot articulation. Did the originals have that, or was it just this one? This is like a This is like a season 5 Donnie right here. It also has toe articulation. Again, I don't remember if they have that. I need to relook it up. But I remember they were pretty good figures, from what I've heard. I'm pretty sure it's hard to make a bad figure. Because toys are just meant for kids to play with. So if you're just going with that mindset, then any toy's good. If you're going off people who want to collect them to give them cool poses and set them up on the shelf, or stuff like that, then articulation points are really, really important. Okay, the reason why I'm saying all this about articulation is because I'm getting to it. So give me a second. So then 2012 came out. They had the wrists, arms, elbows, legs, knees, head. It's the standard. Then shortly after 2012, their figures stopped having wrist articulation, and this has been a problem since like the early days of Turtles. But the paint detailing got lazy at times. I think it got worse at around 2014. So as we see on the Mikey figure for 2014's movie, this whole area here inside his little bead necklace is not painted. It has part of his plastron and part of the necklace inside the necklace green, which doesn't look right. It's lazy. And with the reason why articulation is important is because without wrist articulation, you can't get as many cool poses. It's hard to get Donnie to hold his staff with both hands with no wrist articulation. It's hard to do this, it's hard to do that, and it's kind of a negative for me. And they refused to make toys of the first movie at the time because it was too violent. And I would assume that's why they didn't make any of the original comics either. Then many years later, on the 30th anniversary, they decide, we'll lower our standards. In both ways, let's make some figures of the originals because it's the anniversary. And boy, did those figures suck. I mean, they're okay, but NECA did it much better. But NECA is well out of print and pricey. But at least those ones were more accurate to the comics, and also they had wrist articulation. They also had a pelvis articulation, which is why their plastron was kind of bendy. It's a toe and other kind of articulation. Whatever. It's just you didn't do it justice. You made some crappy figures that can't even move their wrists right. My point is, articulation is important. The classic figures have 34 points of articulation. Everywhere you could expect to be articulated is articulated. Like every individual finger, every individual toe, and this and that. It's like, wow, that's a lot of points of articulation. Really good. I guess after that line failed after their second release of Turtles, I guess they ran out their articulation budget for a while, which sucked. I don't know, but I'm just saying that was a bad choice, and it was them getting lazier. Unless it was a money thing because of the classic figures. In that case, I'm sorry. I just think that those figures you release within that time frame with no wrist articulation and less detail on the paint those were just awful. And now these figures. We have elbow bend, shoulder bend, but on Mikey, it's kind of hard to move him. I don't know why. His shoulder bend is kind of tough. Ooh, heard it pop. I think it has something to do with how close his shell is, how close his arm is to his shell. Maybe it's something to do with that belt. Can't really bend it around all the way. I can kind of no. I'm probably gonna break the toy if I keep doing it like that. Bend back, and he's stuck upside down. Great, his arm is stuck upside down. Oh, there we go. Okay, so yeah, it's got the articulation. It's got a swivel. It's got a swivel and a this. The elbow just has a this, but does it swivel? Yeah, it swivels. That's awesome. Yeah. Usually it's just a bend like this, and the swivels are safe for like the shoulders. But here they added the swivel here too. Oh, they're saying sorry for the crappy articulation from a few years ago. And let us check those wrists. Oh yeah, they got them wrist articulation. Same with the other arm, I can safely assume. And let's see, do they have a ball joint on the leg? Kinda. Yeah, they do. It's just, the leg can spin as well as go in and out. That's good. And here's something that's, I thought was a new thing. Oh, at least it's not exactly new. It's just that they haven't done it in a while. Here's something. Oh, fuck. Bend that foot back the right way. What's wrong? They actually have ankle bends and ankle swivels. I'm guessing why they couldn't do that on 2012 is because they had those big feet. Kind of would be hard to make a bend on that, but this is awesome. It's like, sorry for no wrist articulation on the other figures. We'll make up for it. We'll add ankles and swivels just about everywhere. And the head is kind of hard to move on all these guys, mainly because I guess it has something to do with the designs of the turtles. How jagged, edgy they are, and how close the head is to the back of the neck. Come on. There we go. Hard to freaking spin his head around like you would do. Okay, I managed, but it's stiff. So that's one negative, but yes, overall, pretty good figure. Now I know this isn't the toy's fault, it's the show for changing the weapons up. But in the show, he only has one Kusari Fundo, not two, not two nunchucks. So this is his one weapon he has in the show. It's not as long as in the show, unfortunately. In the show, I'm pretty sure it's rope because it's just a black string, but on the toy they made it chain. It's weird. It's translucent plastic to give it like a magical kind of glowy effect because that show's all about magic. That's the weapon. And then he has accessories and extra weapons. Now this I haven't seen in the show yet. It might be something they just made up for the toy. But for like I was saying, for those of you who are sad that he only has one now, this ought to make up for it. There we go. Now it's like he has two. It's a boxing glove. Punch. It's pretty cool. Unfortunately, there's no extra way to store both of these, so I just picked to store this one. Just clicking on there. There we go. Already said my gripes about Mikey's belt and whatnot in my Turtles designs video, like all those months ago, so I'm not going to talk about it again. Just go watch that video. It kind of bugs me that his belt is brown instead of orange, and also that his belt is like not around his waist instead it's raised up, and also it's shoulder strap. That's not a mic thing. That shouldn't be on a mic, but oh well. Accept it. There is a few lazy spots on the paint. As you know in the show, he has those spots on his arms and legs. At first I thought those were like spots from him being a box turtle, because box turtles have those spots. Oh no, I have a box turtle in there, in the other room. Oh, I need to show her to you. I'll show her in a minute. But yeah, I thought those were spots, but apparently those are stickers. They have like a ring on the outside of them. If I show you this, you see those like red circles outside the yellow? That's like the I don't know. I guess that means they're stickers. That's what Kate says anyway. So I guess they're supposed to be stickers, but they didn't add them on here. Now what would have been cool is this toy came with stickers that you can put on the board or on him if you want, but I think they're meant for the board. What would have been cool is if you had the 6 stickers like on his arms and you had to put them on there. That would have been cool. Missed opportunity there, but this is pretty good. It's pretty good. And he also came with this weapon. Can't remember the name of it. It's like a staff and nunchuck combo. I've seen some Donnies come with this, like 2012 Don, and I've seen a few Mikes come with this. And Mike used this in Season 5 of 2003. It was his magical weapon. Maybe that's why they gave him this here, but that doesn't explain why they did it in 2014. 2014 only came with one Chuck, even though he had 2 in the movie. That kind of bugged me. That's another thing they got lazy with, not having the right amount of weapons. He's sticking both his hands. There we go. Pretty good, pretty good. He also comes with 2 Ninja Stars. It would have been cool if they were colored like the rest of them, so you know they're his. If you get his and any other turtle stars mixed up, you won't be able to know. I guess it doesn't matter anyway. But it's just a little nitpick. And finally, his skateboard. You can pose him on the skateboard. You can have him riding along with his weapons, swinging them. Cowabunga! I mean, booyaka! I mean, oh my gosh! Oh shit! Yeah, it's fine. All right, so that's all the positives and all the middle ground stuff. Now let's get to the negatives. I already did some of them, like the not detail on the arm. They didn't get the spots on the arms and legs. They also didn't paint the details on his back. They didn't paint those yellow during the show. Other than that, it's pretty good. They didn't paint his plastron. Their plastrons in this new show have two colors, the lighter color and the darker color. It runs along under this part and around the whole shell, as well as their bridge, which these figures don't have bridges, because even if the show has a bridge, the figures don't. 2012 proved that. Eh. But other than that lack of paint detail, it's pretty good. Oh, and the knee pads. In the show, they're drawn on, but here they're sculpted on, and they're not painted in, so yeah, that's a bit weird. And finally, a little bit of something that's not. This is the figure not being completely accurate to the show, but in the show, their lower things are painted black. But even though their shell does, okay, so look, Mikey butt. I know there's no butt crack or anything, but I just think that's a little perverted. Just make this a bit longer to cover that, or paint this entire bottom black like they are in the show. Eh. On the stickers, I had them. I made a bet with Kate if I could get them all on there. I don't remember what I bet, but I just said she said you couldn't get them all on there. I was like, I'll prove you wrong, and I managed to get all the stickers on both him, the board, and even two of his weapons. I put the skull on the regular Fundo and the crossbones on this one. But after I did it, I realized he didn't look that good with all them stickers just randomly placed all over him. So I took them all off and stuck them on my door over there. I could get up and list them off, but I'll be over there, not in front of the camera, and you wouldn't be able to hear me as good. This figure is pretty good. It's one of the best figures that Funko has made in years. There is a little problems, but maybe make a new version later on down the line that fixes the problems. Oh, you hear that squeak? It's weird. Alright, that's him. That's Michelangelo. Oh, another thing. That buckle is not how it looks in the show. It's a dark green, but here they made it an orange and a light green. That's a little different, but I actually like that better than how it is in the show. I think I like that better. Pretty quality figure. All the little minor flaws decrease its points a little bit, but I give it an 8.9, which go up one more percent, and that's 9. But I give it an 8.9, maybe a 9. It's not a 10 out of 10. Now, Raphael. Let me show you good old Raffy boy. Swooping like a boss. Hot Sue, jumping jack flash. Cowabunga. Alright, I'll stop. Okay, so Raph, pretty accurate to the show, except for, one detail. In the show, he's much bigger than his brothers. But I guess on the toy, they couldn't really make that like that, so he's only like a little bit bigger. He is bigger, you can definitely tell. But he's only like a little bit bigger. And I actually like him better this way than the actual show. I think in the show, he's double mutated. Now, don't know, I might sound crazy, but it just seems like it. Because if he's supposed to be a regular snapping turtle, why does he have the spikes on his back like an alligator snapping turtle? He's got to be double mutated, right? Maybe? But I think he's double mutated. I guess this would be him one time mutated, and then in the show, that's him double mutated. I don't know. No, he still has the spikes on his back, so I don't know. The toy is just not exactly like the show, but I actually like him better this height. This big. That's just me, you know. Now, in the show, they got rid of his Sai and replaced it with Tonfa. And, oh, that's a problem with these figures. Their hands, with their very skinny fingers, as you can see, kind of don't really hold on to the weapons as good as other figures do. They're kind of like, almost kind of loose-ish in their hands. I feel like you could just easily drop it. It's a little better on Raph because his fingers are thicker, but he doesn't really have the grip. It's more like, like a. It's not like a full open hand, but it's not like a grip. It's like a kind of gripping, kind of not. It's kind of like, I'll grip, but I really don't feel like it. So yeah, we stick both of these in his hands. Get them in there. Oh, sticking him from underneath. That's what I need to do. There we go. Oh, come on. Okay, I think it's in. There we go. Yeah, it's in. And then the other one. The little handle part here, it's kind of not long enough, so I kind of have to like really get it in there. And it kind of, there we go. These parts, the long part, are supposed to be right under the arm, but instead, because I have to really get it up in there, it's more like this part of the arm. Instead of this part, it's this part. Except for on this one. This one seems to be good. No, no, wait, no. You can't exactly hold them exactly right, which is a bit of a me, but well, it's pretty good. Let's go over the details. Let's see. In the show, his eye color is like a weird shade of white. Normally, in everything ever, it's usually just white. But in Rise, I see Raph's eye shade is like a different shade of white than the rest of them. It's weird. I think Don's the same way. I don't know if it was an animation mistake. No, his teeth are the same shade. I don't know why they're using multiple shades of white. Literally everyone else ever uses one shade of white on the eyes and teeth, but I guess the show's trying to be different, and I guess they're trying to not just be different turtles-wise, but different in general. That's what they want to do? Alright, go ahead. I have to say, this one, they actually did a good job covering his ass. Don't know where they screwed up with on Mikey. Now let's talk about the articulation. He's got the hand, that's good. He's got the ball jointed, he's got the arm. He's got the ball jointed shoulder, and it actually moves better on him than it does on Mikey. Surprisingly, you think it moved worse. His arms are kind of bigger, so they get stuck more, but no. I don't know why they move better on him than they do on Mikey, but they work. He's got head articulation, but his head is actually harder to move than Mike's. Mainly because this part gets in the way when I'm trying to turn it. Come on, turn around. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. I'm going to bend the plastic and it won't ever be right again, so I'm not even going to try it with this one. Get back on his plastron where you belong. There you go. Get back down there. There you go. See, I'm not even going to try with that, but yeah. His bandana strands kind of go over his, shoulder like hair. Weird. And his legs are the same. They bend, and they have the same points. Now let's go over a bit of inaccuracy with the show. I don't know if it was an animation mistake or not, but usually we see on Raph he has bits of red here, and then underneath it's black, like it's not on this figure. That's kind of a perverted shot to give, but I'm just trying to prove a point. But there actually is, I don't remember what episode, but there actually is one frame where we see no black there, and it's just red. So I'm guessing it's supposed to be red shorts. Now, before the show came out, I thought it was this. I thought it was this weird red straps he was wearing around the upper part of his leg. But as we see in the show, unless that's an animation mistake, it's actually red shorts that he's wearing underneath his shell. But on this toy, it's the red straps. So I'm not sure what it is. So I'm not sure if that's an inaccuracy or not. But meh. Another inaccuracy is the size. I already went over that. And of course the belt buckle. It's now light green and red. I like that. They actually remembered the spiky shoulders, if you can tell. You just kind of barely see it there. Pretty good. It's not as big as it is in the show, but hey, at least they remembered that instead of... They forgot Mikey's spots, but they remembered that. And the elbows. Again, I think this might be Raph only one time mutated, because that spiky elbow is not as big as it is on the actual show, as you see here. Look at that. It juts out even more. It's even longer and it juts out more. Also, I'm not sure what that is. A weird type of pad. I don't know. It's something. Some kind of cover. This is actually like a pad. Like an elbow pad with a little spike on it. That's not like how it is in the show, but oh well. Pretty good. Now to show off his accessories. He didn't come with as many as Mike. I was hoping he'd come with a skateboard or something, but no. All he came with is 2 ninja stars again, just like Mike's. Yeah, and they're the same. You can get them mixed up with Mike's. And he came with his Power Smash Jitsu fists. Which I like. They actually fit on rather well. I always thought it would be a bitch to get them in, but no, they fit in very well. Squeeze it in there. And squeeze it in there. Yes. And then you can have him bash his fists together like this. Power Smash Jitsu. On his regular hands, it seems kind of harder to do. I don't think they fully reach. Let me try it. And also because his hands aren't in a fist, so kinda, sorta, kinda getting it. Doesn't look as cool. But yeah, I like this. This figure I give. Oh, I have to point out some laziness. I forgot to point that out. Let me show you. See that little bit right there? That's supposed to be tape. Same thing on the arm right here. See, yeah, it's supposed to be tape. As you see, oops. As you see here, extra bit of tape. They didn't paint that on here. Got lazy a little bit, but it's still fine. It's just a little bit of laziness. It's not as bad as on Mikey. At least I remembered his spiky shoulders, so it's pretty good. I rate it a. I give it an 8, a solid 8. Maybe I'm being biased since Mikey's my favorite turtle, but Oh, I just now noticed this. Oh, I noticed the laziness in paint detailing. The straps on his pads are unpainted, and they also don't even go all the way around. Well, I guess again the knee bends are there, but you'd at least paint these parts. Oh, okay. Well, that's another lazy point. All right, pretty quality figures. Other than those small things, but hell, the original figures had problems, and so did 2012 a little bit, 2003. Every figure is not going to be pixel perfect, but these are pretty good. As soon as I get all 4, I'm going to pose them on my shelf, probably right there, where my Turtles box set used to be. If you're wondering where that is, I'm going to give that away to my nephews and instead have this. I like this packaging better. You know, the DVDs have a less chance of getting all scratched up and fucked up. So I'm either going to give that box set away to Kate, ship it off to her in the mail, or give it to my nieces and nephews. My mom wants me to give it to my nieces and nephews. And that's pretty much it. Oh, I need to show you guys. My new box turtle. Hopefully she's not asleep. I don't want to disturb her. Yes. Alright, here she is. Hopefully she doesn't pee. No, I'm making a video. Hopefully she doesn't pee. Let's say hi to Pamela. I named her that because, let me move the chair, she's kind of blending in. I named her that because she's my 13th turtle, so I named her Pamela, Jason's mom from Friday the 13th. Yeah, she's kind of been through a lot. I don't know if you can tell, but she's missing a piece of her beak. Her tail is like a nub tail, it got bit off. Shell's kind of scratched up. Let me show you. Not only here, but there's also little bits here and there that are scratched up. And also, her front foot on this side only has 4 toes instead of 5. I don't know what the hell happened to her, but yeah. Oh, and there's a dog bite right there. She's a nice turtle. Alright, I got to show you one out of my 13 turtles. Oh, alright. Alright, people, that's all I have for now. I'll make another video when I get the other two figures. See you guys next time. Wait, oh wait, no, I still got like a few seconds. I got it. I gotta end it when it hits exactly 30. Even though it doesn't say 30 when I upload it. I don't know, it's weird. My timer on here must be a little bit off. See you guys next time. Peace.